Greetings, Rev J here. Thank you for joining me for your middle of the month reading, your Tarot by Tribe series. I'm going to be doing these just a little bit different for this mid-month of April, and just first want to thank you all for being here. This is an M for mature audiences only channel, so please only be watching it if you are a legal adult wherever you are, and if you're also okay with strong messages and language, because occasionally they are. I'm going to be doing these messages just a little bit different here for the middle of the month. I've gotten tons of inquiries, people asking me pretty similar questions or lines of questioning, and so I've been putting together a slightly different spread. I'm actually going to be doing 12 separate videos instead of my usual 4 by tribal element, where I'm going to be breaking these down using a 5-card spread, where we actually take apart what the theme is for the month. I'm only going to be using major arcana for that so that we can get a really strong theme of what Mercury Retrograde is all about. So this is actually probably going to carry beyond the second part of April for most of y'all. This is to kind of help you get through some of the things that might be otherwise quite tricky. We're also going to cover what you're leaving in the past, what your lessons are, what you're carrying forward for a better future, what's been on your mind, mental blocks primarily, and we're also going to be looking at subconscious blocks. And so basically this is going to be like your way to hack out of anything that might otherwise be somewhat precarious and catching you at unawares during Mercury retrograde. So you might also want to check, in addition to your sun, your moon, and your rising, my Mercury retrograde survival kit. It's an 11-minute video. It's actually linked in the description box below. And also just let you know, if I have enough time this weekend, I might also be doing separate relationship readings or love readings for all y'all too. So I'm trying to get to that. It's just been really busy. I do business consulting too, and I've been in a business boot camp, and I'm like recovering from being on some antibiotics too, so it's just been a really hectic time for me. But I really appreciate all of you who've been there for me, and all of you who support my channel and share my content. Huge thanks to those of you who have ordered personal readings from me, and especially those who have sent me cash tips too. Really appreciate you guys and gals and others, and you've just made it really great for me. I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary of this YouTube channel, and it's been wonderful. So thanks for being there for me. I love being there for you, and I'll catch you on the inside of your reading. Hey, what's up, Leo? How you doing? Happy middle of the month to you. Hope it's going great. This reading's going to be a little different than the usual ones if you are one of my usual subscribers. Since I've been getting, you probably saw that intro, so many of the same kind of questions, I'm kind of trying to do a preemptive forecast on how to undo some of the things that might be self-sabotage by kind of knowing what's happening around us and inside us a little bit better when these missed opportunities and sometimes challenges on communication are present like they show up with Mercury retrogrades. So I'm going to be using the major arcana for your central theme, and I'm going to be using the rest of the minors as the potential mental hang-ups or places where we kind of let it unwind for ourselves and are blocked, as well as the subconscious blocks, what you're leaving behind, and what the lesson is going forward from this Mercury retrograde. So just about to lay down the last 4 of these 5 cards, and then I'm going to hit pause here, and I'm going to give you a different angle on the spirit board. Hearing it might be a really strong month for you guys to be creatively manifesting right now, Leo. Just something I heard. I'm going to pause this and flip.
Here's your spread. Central theme, the lovers. Hey. Taurus actually got that same card as their central theme. They're saying you might either have Taurus in your chart or be dealing with someone or people that have heavy Taurian influence. It's also possible that head or heart decisions might be coming into play for this Mercury retrograde in at least the second part of this month here. Potential mental blocks, Seven of Pentacles reversed. Potential subconscious blocks, Eight of Swords, what you're leaving behind you, Five of Cups. Lesson learned for the future, Three of Swords. Wow. This one's really got quite a few places to jump all at once here, Leo. We're hearing about lessons that we've learned by having to have made some challenging decisions. In some cases, it could have had to deal with a Gemini person. This is, again, a very strong Gemini influence card. Doesn't have to be. In some cases, it's the decisions that we've made and love. In other cases, it's just decisions we've had to make that might have turned our stomach a lot and had us not really knowing what to do and feeling like we weren't in control of what was happening. And the cost that it has brought, in some cases, literally in financial ways, that's interesting. Literally showing that for some, the decisions that are going to be made have a lot to do with the things that we're allowing ourselves to put time into. Because they're saying in some cases that, people might have been feeling very disappointed over how much bravado and excess and love they've poured into things that maybe left them feeling like this, They're saying we're really leaving the emotionally desolate times behind. And I'm seeing this as being kind of a wonderful thing. In some cases, there are definitely some cautionary notes here for people about returning to situations in love where it didn't pay off, where they might have been waiting a real long time, and how, in some cases, you've already learned the lesson, and they're just reminding you here what it felt like to be brokenhearted. Not necessarily saying you're going to be, but in some cases, knowing already what it felt like. And, it's really clear here. We're seeing it in two places. So, that should definitely be mentioned first. The other thing, though, that I'm seeing here, it's kind of cool. It's about knowing where it is that we've abandoned projects that were just a little premature. They're talking to me about decisions that might have been made impatiently and the cost that it's had, because this person here, this is a farmer. This is someone that's tended to things and has made choices that have allowed them to grow and, create something here that they've cultivated, right? Something that they've really tended to and maybe even loved. Okay, this is a very patient kind of energy that is showing up here. That's not very patient, or that's somebody feeling like they didn't get the payoff or the payout that they were waiting for. And they're saying that, it has to do with choices that were made. And so in some cases, the wise thing to do this month here, Leo, this second part of the month and the rest of this retrograde, is to pay attention to those decisions that are being made, especially about the things that you've put your time into, because they're saying in some cases you block yourself, and that this is a key time to keep the lesson in mind of how that left you feeling boom, like this in the past, because they're saying new choices are here. Things that you can really sink your teeth into, things that you might really love, and things that might actually have to do with your heart, and the way you express your love. So this doesn't have to be a forecast on the future of like, hey, you're going to carry some brokenheartedness forward, more so than the lesson of having gone through this before being the new way to consider things, because they're saying in some cases, subconsciously, y'all are carrying this stuff around in a way that maybe is making you feel a lot less potent than you actually are. This is a mental hell right here that somebody's in, and they're saying subconsciously some of y'all have been hurt because of whatever this was, whatever it was you loved, whatever it was that you learned that sucked. It might have had your heart feeling like a freaking pincushion, and in some cases might have had to do with, people that have just been very disappointing for different reasons. I'll just say very disappointing is what I'm hearing. And not realizing in some cases how it's left you sort of feeling like you didn't have options, and that's the old programming from whatever this situation was that is now, I remind you, in the past. And so they're saying that this is actually a beautiful thing to see here, because the lesson that was learned here was something that has put you in a position to make those wiser decisions. Wow. Yeah, I'm hearing it's about a love partner too. That's really interesting. This just these are my boji stones. That was the female energy just kind of flew off the board here when I was picking this up. And they were talking to me about a situation that somebody put a lot of time into with, I'll say a feminine energy here. It doesn't have to be, though. That didn't pay off, or it didn't come to fruit, and somebody just not feeling good, and that old feeling from whatever that situation was here that didn't work out, it left this person feeling like this. But they're saying right now there's new choices. There's choices here, and sometimes that choice has to do with whatever it was that had us feeling like this before. So you might have a head or heart decision to make. They're saying there might be two for some of y'all. You might have to make a decision. Somebody might actually be left behind. That might be another person. That doesn't have to be you, Leo. This could be, what happens when people make decisions to depart from things they've put a lot of time and energy into. And that the best thing that you can do is just make sure you're not feeling disempowered about things that you actually have truths about. You actually can see everything that's around you. These are kind of false limitations that can easily come off. This person could shrug their shoulders and, be out of whatever this is and literally just walk away. That is not deep water. That's not threatening. None of those swords are coming at them. These are echoes of the past that are haunting somebody and keeping them from making good decisions that are actually going to bear them the rewards that they want. So they're saying it's just a really key time to make those good decisions that are centered in the love of your own heart, and to know that you've already learned everything you needed to know about whatever the hell this was. So it's time for a new page here, Leo. They're saying be a good friend to yourself and check in with how you feel on things, because they're saying you've really learned a lot emotionally and also with how to delegate yourself, and that the best thing you can do is make sure you're not, kind of punking out on yourself for stuff that you've actually earned and worked for just because somebody in the past had you feeling like this. Because they're saying right now, wow, that's what showed up in the middle. So perhaps a lot of opportunities here. I hope you'll take the advice if it's for you. Really wish you a wonderful second half of the month and a successful Mercury retrograde. Hit me up if I can do a personal reading for you. I would love to do it. If I don't hear from you, take care, God bless, and I'll catch you again in a couple of weeks when I'm back for your monthly reading. Bye for now.